Goody goody everyone. This is Dayhawk bringing to you episode 48 of Shaman King 2001. So this episode begins with Yo's training from hell. And you see Yo in this vase, whatever, with both of his arms sticking out, and Aminomaru cheering him on, and Horo and Manta looking on as Anna is checking her stopwatch because the goal is to, be like, the goal is to hold on for 10 minutes. And Horo is talking that glad it isn't me doing that, but then Manta points out that, well, you're lucky that your sister isn't here training, because if she was here, you would be probably training now. And he just like, nah, she ain't coming, But Anna just mentions, well, if you mention her name more than once, she will come. And, Horo just went away because he doesn't want to deal with Anna. And the sad thing is that there is a cutscene where Yo is asking Anna, is it 10 minutes yet? And it points out that Anna has never started the watch. So it's stuck in 0 because she didn't start it. And she said no, not yet. That's cruel, let's be honest. So Horo is just walking around, and then he witnesses a crowd, and he's just wondering what's going on. And then he is noticing this voice. It's so familiar. So he goes inside the crowd, and guess what? Pirika is in the crowd. And Pirika is happy to see him, and yet she's sorry. And there we meet Team Sabbath, and he is spewing gloom and doom, and that children shouldn't be involved in this tournament. And it got to the point where they decided to walk away. Let's see. So the siblings go to this restaurant, and Horo asked her, how did you get here? And guess what? She was invited, and there was a map. So she was given an invitation and a map to come to Patch Village. And Horo was wondering, who the hell gave you an invitation? And guess who it was? It was Kareem. And Kareem was like, you need to pay up with the your travel expenses. I'm like, dude, you're the one who invited her over. Why is Horo gonna pay for the expenses if you were the one who invited her to come, right? But of course, Horo was giving him that logic, but then he's like, oh, before you go, please buy something. He's just advertising for all the, trying to make Pirika buy some souvenirs and stuff. So, and Horo was like, is that the reason why she's here, to buy to buy from you guys? And Kareem is like, you should know we're having a hard time balancing the management budget. So the patch is having money problems. So he sticks out his hand and Horus just pays. And he just goes away. And that was a funny scene, let's be honest. I was laughing out loud. And then after Kareem leaves, Pirika just pulls out her book and just states that you're gonna be training and this is our routine. It's like, oh dear, I'm gonna, like, sis, like I'm grateful that you're helping me becoming strong and and just believe in my dream and all, but this routine, it's gonna kill me and rather than it's gonna help me. Next thing you know, Team Savage is back and still spewing the fact that you can't be, children shouldn't be involved in this tournament. You need to realize your mistake. Spewing the same thing. So they leave the restaurant, and then they meet up with Yo and the gang, and typical Chocolove is giving out puns, and as everybody is like motionless, because every time Chocolove makes a joke, everyone's just stands there and just like, what the hell, that's not funny, right? But then Pirika is the one who is laughing at his joke, and instead of Chocolove having tears of joy, he's like, wait, you're too slow, dude, just be grateful you have a laugh. Jesus. Anyways, they go to this restaurant to eat, not the same one but a different one, and again Chocolove with his jokes and the uneasiness after, and of course Pirika laughs. Then later at night, Pirika's training from hell begins, so you see Horo just running around the village, and that he has 60 more laps to go. Next thing you know, Teen Sabbath shows up again, saying that it's impossible for a child to become a Shaman King. To be Shaman King, you need someone older and mature and not a child. And next thing you know, the Oracle Bell rings, and that the match is at Patch Coliseum, and that they're facing Team Ren and Team Sabbath, and they look at each other, wait, that's you. And the leader of Team Savage is like, this is a good thing, this is fate, because this match will give me the opportunity to make you see and understand that after I defeat you, my point is correct and all that. And so right after, Pirika and Horo have a moment together as they see the Great Spirit and all. And just to summarize this particular scene is, my dream is to become Shaman King and to have his dream become reality. And so Pirika's like, I'm with you always, and that sort of thing. And then it leads to the match. And as the match was about to start, the leader of Team Sabbath was like, wait, hold on. I just want you, Horo, one-on-one. and Ren approves, tells Horo that you should accept this challenge, and in case you fail, I get to finish him off and the others. Oh my god. And after Ren has had his moment, Chocolove again with his joke, and he ends up getting poked. And so Karim has started the match. You get to see everyone from Ren, Chocolove, Horo, and Team Sabbath with their oversouls. And the cool part about the leader of Team Sabbath is that his oversoul is a dragon. How about that? And so Horo and the Sabbath leader have their one-on-one match, while Ren and Chocolove fights the other two members, and they finish them off rather quickly. And so after they defeated the two members, Horo and the leader have their own face-off. And what ends up happening is that the dragon eats the arm of Koro, and then the dragon traps them into this giant spear. And inside, it's like a realm where the leader can control what's in this spear. And Horo tried to use his shaman powers to defend himself, but it doesn't work. But luckily, by sheer force of belief, strong will, he managed to defeat the dragon and destroy the sphere. And Karim declares Team Ren the winner. And so the leader and Horo end up shaking their hands, and he end up respecting Horo, and that was cool until I think some funny moment happened, and they just leave, and here comes Pirika just running towards them, and you assume that this part here is the happy ending for this episode. Not really, because you get to see both Yo and Horo getting trained by these two girls. You know, Horo is running while poor Yo is trying to hold three vases. I don't know if they're empty or filled with water, but he's holding them with his arms up. And of course, Anna has not used the timer. It stayed at 0, so when Yo asks again, is it 10 minutes yet? She looks down. No, not yet. Again, that's evil right there. So that's the end of the episode. I enjoyed it because it's just this episode is about, it doesn't matter if you're a kid, a teenager, or an adult. As long as you have this dream, this belief that you can be something, and you be able to achieve your dream, I mean, there's no age limit, you know, because this overall episode is really about, achieving your dream and it doesn't matter how old you are, because what Sabbath was doing, aside from spewing that the end of the world is coming, that he will be king to stop this evil disaster from plaguing the earth. The moment he met Horo and just like, wait a minute, you're a kid. How can you, a kid, become a Shaman King? Because a king is, mature. He's older and, mature, older, and wise. You're just a kid. How were you, a kid, be able to become Shaman King? And even though after Horo mentioned his dream, the leader is just, again, like, I'm gonna make you see that you don't belong here, you're a kid. And when the match was announced, he was planning on using the match to prove his point that children shouldn't be participating in the tournament and becoming Shaman King. And after the match, he ends up, telling Horo that you earned my respect and that my hopes rides on you now. And I think that's the awkward moment that happened there. But this episode itself has a good lesson in it, and I enjoy it very much. And Pirika, and especially Curry, oh my god, he goes and just tells Horo that you need to pay for the travel expenses, and it's not like Horo told Kareem, hey, can you bring my sister, along and all that. It's just, oh my god, it just proves how poor the patch is right now, because everything, like, if you've noticed with Silva and Kareem, they are trying to, get money in any shape possible, because apparently they're strapped of cash right now. And because you see Silva in the last episode, please do not be drinking, like, no outside food. And then you have Kareem, it's like, no, you're gonna be paying back what I spent on your sister. And then telling them to buy some souvenirs before you go and all that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus. We don't see that in the reboot, because the reboot is trying to match the manga, and like I said before, they're both night and day. And yeah, so hopefully by the end of both versions, I can make an overall review on what I prefer, what the similarities, what the differences, and all that. Anyway, thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Oh, and before I forget, please give a like if you like it, because it helps out, and subscribe and all that. Alright then, Johnny!